Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the variable valve timing solenoid assembly. This particular car is a 2006. It's a Honda CRV with a 2.4 liter engine, but all of the CRVs with the 2.4 are basically the same procedure. All right, what I would recommend doing is don't waste your money and get an aftermarket assembly. Get it right from the factory, get it from the manufacturer, because I've run into many problems before where people have changed the assembly only to bring it into me with a recurring code, and as it turns out it's the aftermarket part that's no good. So it is a little more expensive than the aftermarket. It's actually twice the price, but still you're saving yourself a lot of headaches, and you'll do the job once and be finished, and you won't have to worry about it. As far as tools you're going to need, you do not need a lift to do it. You can do it on the ground. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to need a, what I always use is I use a 1/4" socket set, because you don't want to over tighten it, and you can usually take them out with just a 1/4" set. You're going to need the 10mm socket, you're going to need a very short extension, and you're going to need a ratchet, and you may need a pair of needle nose pliers, fairly long needle nose pliers, to remove the clips that are actually holding the wires away from touching anything that's hot. All right, so enough talking. Let me bring you in there. I'm going to show you where it is, and then we're going to get this job done and out the door. Let me bring you in, and I'm going to explain to you exactly what I'm going to do, and then we're just going to get this job done. All right, so come on, take a look. Okay, so this is where our assembly is located. It's all the way down in the back right over here. It looks like it's in a tight spot, but really it's not that difficult to do. This is the assembly right down inside here. You see where this white wire is connecting onto? That's where the assembly is. All right, I did forget to tell you, you're going to need some light so you can see what you're doing. Even if you're doing it outside in the daylight, you're probably going to need the light to see what's going on down there. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in underneath here. Okay, and down here is where you'll find your assembly, right down underneath here. We're going to be replacing the entire assembly. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come down over to where these wires connect on right here, and we're just going to press that little tab in right there, push it in, and pull the wire up and out. We're going to do the exact same thing on this one right here. There's a little tab in there. You just push that tab in, push it in, and then you just pull this off just like that. And that is what the other tab looks like. All right, then we'll just put this off to the side just like this for now. And we're going to go down right inside here with a pair of needle nose pliers, just like this, so that we can take that piece that's holding the wires on there. We're just going to squeeze the plastic together, and we're going to push it out at the same time, and we're going to push this out just like that. Now, I know it looks easy, but that's where you just need to push that little clip together right there so you can pop this wire loom off just like that. We're going to pull this to the side, and then you're going to see 3 10mm bolts down inside here. 1, 2, and 3. I know it's not easy to see. Let me get you down there so maybe you can see it. All right, you see those 3? Right there, and 1 more right there. We're going to take those 3 screws out, and then we're going to remove that entire valve assembly. Now, it's going to be tough for me to do with you down there watching, so we're going to bring the camera up, and we'll continue then. Okay, so now we're going to come in here with our 10mm ratchet, and we're going to break each one of those 3 bolts loose. They're usually very easy to come out. We're just going to crack 3 of them loose, and then we'll take them out by hand. Like I said, you want to have something below so you don't have a little bit of oil leaking. Okay, and now that they're all loose, we're going to take these bolts out by hand. I will tell you this, they're all 3 the same length, so you don't have to worry about possibly mixing up which one goes where. That's one. And now you can see that the valve itself, the whole assembly is loose. Okay. I'm trying to show you so I don't block your view. Okay, that's number 2. And now the last one, we're going to go down there and we're going to hold it with our hand so we don't lose it. I'm going to hold it with this just so you can see what I'm doing. Usually I just reach down with my hand. Okay, take that third screw out. We're going to grab the valve itself with our hand. We're going to take that third screw away out of the picture. And then we'll just lift the valve out. This is the valve assembly here. And this one has been changed. It looks like it's probably an aftermarket. I don't think it's the OEM valve on here. But we're going to take this out. Let's grab our new valve and we'll put it back in. Be careful because it may leak a little bit of oil. Now before you put it back in, take a rag and wipe down here to make sure that the surface is nice and clean. Okay, now that we cleaned everything up down there, I will tell you a mirror does come in very handy to see what you're doing down there because you can't see in the back what's going on. But we just put our mirror down there and we can see that the surface now is nice and clean. All right, next thing we're going to do now is we're going to take our valve assembly and we're going to install it back inside the car itself. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to catch one bolt for now, and then once we catch the one bolt in there by a couple of threads, we're going to come back up and we'll grab the other ones and put those in. All right, so let me just catch this in there. I know it looked fairly easy. It's a little bit tight to get in there, so just have patience and you should be okay. Now we're going to catch our next bolt in there as well. And again, we didn't tighten them up, we're just catching them loosely first. Okay, now we have 2 of them that are caught. We're going to get our third one in as well. A lot of times you got to go by feel because you can't really see what you're doing down there. So we're going to screw everything in now by hand as far as you can. Now you can screw them all 3 so that they're tight. I hope you can see that. Okay, now once you have all 3 of them screwed in by hand, now you can take your 1/4-inch ratchet and you can come in and you can tighten them up with your 1/4-inch ratchet. Do not over tighten it, you don't want to break them, so that's why I recommend using a 1/4-inch ratchet. Just snug it in there, and then we'll move down to the next one. We'll snug that one in as well. Okay. Okay, nice and tight. And we're just going to check them one more time. Okay, now that they're nice and tight, let's plug it all back together. Okay, now once we have the valve tightened up, we're going to take our connectors. We're going to push that piece back in here, so that's in where it belongs. We're going to put this on here and listen for it to snap. We're going to put this one back on there as well and listen for it to snap in. All right, then we're just going to take a rag and we're going to wipe away any oil down here that may have leaked out. And then that's it. This job is done. We're going to start it up. We're going to check for leaks, and then we'll make sure it's okay. So, all right, let's start it up. All right, so now we're ready to start it up just to make sure we have no leaks, and then we're going to road test it and make sure everything is okay. All right, so let's fire it up and make sure it's finished. Okay, so as you can see, it starts and runs perfectly. We're going to take it for a drive to make sure it's okay. We are going to take a visual look underneath the vehicle in the back with a light and the mirror just to make sure we have no leaks. But that's it. This job is done. We're going to road test it, and then it's on to the next one. The only recommendation I would make is a fairly easy job. Make sure you get the OEM. Get it from the dealer. Don't waste your time and your money buying it aftermarket, because from experience, you're not going to have a good results with it. Always go with the OEM part for this particular case. All right, this job's done. We're going to take it for a road test, and then we'll see how everything is, and we'll be on to the next one. One more note too is make sure that you go into your computer and clear out the code that was in there for that solenoid assembly when it did actually fail. But that's it. Let's take it for a ride, and then we're on to the next one. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.